Welcome everyone to today's episode of the AFK podcast. I am your host Afro Black coming at y'all another episode. It looks like I'm gonna be the only one here today. It looks like everyone else is busy, but you know what? We'll just keep riding solo. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing too big. We got a handful of articles as usual for y'all to listen to, get your thoughts on. But before we do that, make sure to go ahead and like, subscribe, comment if you guys got opinions on the episode. You know, it helps the algorithm and all that good shit. Um, Also, an update on my card submission. I haven't really heard much. It's only in it, I think this Monday will make the 20th business day that it's been sitting there. And we will be I think we're looking at around like a 30ish day before everything is good and graded, and then once I have them in hand, we will make the video on it. Also, the this will be the last time you guys see me in this space. I'm actually working on setting up a new space right now in my other room. Got a new desk, got a new mic and everything like that, so that's gonna be fun to mess with and get some crisper audio for y'all. But that's enough of the ads. So let me get a swig of this water. All right. So let's go ahead and start with this one. Our boy Carter, even though he's not here today, he will be he's been supporting the squad by putting a shit ton of articles in the article channel. So we got him to thank for these. So it looks like that new DC game, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Unfortunately, it looks like it got delayed again. It looks like now it's going to be launching on the 2nd of February next year. They put out a tweet, as you guys can see on the screen, saying, "We have made the tough but necessary decision to take the time needed to work on getting the game to be the best quality experience for players. Thank you to our amazing community for the continued support, patience, and understanding. There is so much more to share in the months ahead, and we look forward to seeing you in Metropolis next year." Um, I'm always, as we've said time and time again, I'm never going to sit here and say that delaying a game is necessarily bad. If you need more time to polish the game or whatever like thing that you're working on to actually get it to the state that you want it to be in, I have no problem with that. I just want to reemphasize that devs and publishers need to keep in mind that the longer that you delay a title, the higher the expectations are going to be. So it's technically more high risk, high reward for the however many times that you delay it. Look at Cyberpunk, so on and so forth. So that's unfortunate for the people that were looking forward to it, but I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully they get their shit squared away, and then we can we can see a bomb ass game come out next year. Um, let's see. Why don't we move on to? Oh, this one's fucking hilarious. So for people that have not heard, I know I myself and I think Carter's obviously he's the one that put it in here, but I pay attention to the TCG since I collect it. But a spiciness happened apparently. So back in 2021, apparently a factory worker at one of the printing factories for Pokemon's TCG in America, one of the workers ended up stealing a shit ton of cards. Um, Specifically all the alternate, like a shit ton of hyper rares and alternate arts from Fusion Strike. Just as a quick side note, this happened in 2021. Pokemon has already put out a statement saying that the cards that were stolen before they found them, they just went ahead and reprinted the ones that were like the total count of X amount of cards that were stolen. They reprinted those, put them in the designated packs, and then when they recovered the ones that were stolen, they just destroyed them and called it good. But nonetheless, this worker ended up stealing, I think, around 100,000 cards altogether. Um, and normally, common sense would be, okay, well, I stole this many cards. They're worth X amount of money. I'm just going to piece them out one by little by little in small batches. That way, I don't get caught. This dude did not do that. He is a fucking idiot. He decided to take all of them all at once Uh-oh. What do you two want? I can't right now, bud. I can't. I'm doing something right now. I'm recording right now, so. There's a switch right there that says lock.
I didn't fucking know that.
I know, because you didn't look. I'll be downstairs in a little bit, guys. I mean, you kind of did that to yourself, no? Okay. Sorry, that was my niece and nephew causing a ruckus with my girlfriend. Anyways, so this guy decided to take all 100K cards, and he decided to go ahead and say fuck it and take them all to the same LGS, so local game store for short, and try to sell them all at once. Keep in mind, like I said, he had 100K plus cards that he had stolen, and he tried to sell them all at once. That's just, yeah, we just won't go into details about how stupid that is. So obviously the shop thought immediately that this was a major red flag, and they figured they were either stolen or they were fake. Well, they weren't fake, so they're just like, okay, well, let me just go ahead and give a ring ding ding to Pokemon. So they called Pokemon Company, and I guess within a day or so they had already came. They called the police, had the guy arrested, so on and so forth. So this has been by far probably the biggest Pokemon theft in Pokemon card theft in history. It was just a ridiculous amount of cards. And for details, this is how many cards were taken. Like this is a sample size of how many he actually took. These are all hyper rares for people that can see. All the rainbows are hyper rares in here, hyper rares, hyper rares, hyper rares, secret gold rares, and then that right there is the start of the alternate arts. There's about 3 more stacks of these, of this card alone, and then another 3 stacks of a couple other types of alternate arts. Um, let's see here. Looks like they actually gave an update on the 19th. So a spokesperson for the Pokemon Company told Kotaku that there is no indication that the packs were tampered with and that the Fusion Strike set included all the rare cards it was supposed to. Is still investigating the theft itself, however, and declined to comment on the details of it for now. So what that means is, like I said, they reprinted the cards that were stolen, put them in the designated packs that they needed to be in. The ones that they ended up recovering, they just shredded. Those are gone. At least most of them. That we don't know if they actually ended up recovering all of them. And then just for clarification, these are like basically the official pull rates for the TCG set. So yeah. So that was a fairly big scandal that happened last week. What? I'm recording a video. Why? 'Cause it's fun. I'm gonna be downstairs once I get done with this, I promise. Don't shut the door! Oh. Okay. I guess I can't shut the door anymore. Alright, but yeah, no. So I thought this was absolutely hilarious. The funny thing is that this guy would have gotten away with this if he just literally had not tried to sell 100K plus like high rarity cards all at the same time. He literally just had to throw them all into sleeves or in binders or whatever, store them however he needed to, put them in a storage unit or in a closet or something, and then just grab like 100 or so of different kinds or something like that and sell them off. That's it. It's actually wild to me. So I don't know. I thought that was hilarious. Um, let's see here. But yeah, that's all I really have to say on that. The dude's a fucking idiot. Speaking of Pokemon, why don't we move on to this one? So let's see here. Pokemon archivists are sharing newly uncovered scans that show how Kanto and Johto's original Pokemons were always meant to look. As broken down by YouTuber and Pokemon archivist Lutu on Twitter, they were sent accurate scans of the original 251 Ken Sugimori Pokemon artwork to archive in high quality. Ken Sugimori is a primary creature designer for the Pokemon series. He designed the original Pokemon rosters for the franchise's early Game Boy entries. The 251 recently discovered scans cover Pokemon's first two generations, Red, Blue, Yellow, and Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. As Lu2 described, it doesn't take long to notice the difference is insane when looking at the scans in the old. Some of the Pokemon Lu2 featured in the Twitter thread include Diglett, Ivysaur, Tauros, Mew, and more. Ivysaur, for example, appears blue and orange in the old inaccurate artwork, but in the new scan it looks green and pink, which is truer to the character. Diglett looks washed out with a little detail in the artwork, but both the character and the ground surrounding it come alive in the new scan. Lutu explained that artwork from Pokemon's Game Boy days on the internet had inaccurate colors, were often uh, misshapen, misshapen and generally very low quality. Apparently, these low quality scans were first used in Nintendo Power's Pokemon Red and Blue Player's Guide in 1998. Eventually, this washed out artwork became the default for the original Pokemon designs. So this is the old one, as you can see, more orange. These look a little bit more lime green versus dark green, and body is blue. Um, let's see. Everything changed when Twitter user at Excalibur0_Z sent over scans that appeared to be Sugimori's original design. They did, quote, a lot of cross-referencing, end quote, to confirm that these scans were real, comparing them to official Game Freak assets, scans of Japanese magazine Koro leading up to Gold and Silver's original release, press kits, and more. In the coming months, the Pokemon archivists are going to work with Pokemon fan sites like Bulbapedia to get the word out even further about these new scans. But if you're nostalgic for the old versions, don't worry, Lutu said those will continue to be preserved as well. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of nostalgic for them to, or it's kind of wholesome for them to want to keep their original artwork archived or something like that. Because as a person that likes to improve, it's nice to go back every now and again to look at your original stuff to see how much you or how far you've come. Um, so that's pretty cool. Quick side note for people that want to delve deeper into the articles or want to look at links related to the articles or hyperlinked in them. As always, all the articles that I talk about tonight on this episode are going to be in the description along with all the socials and stuff for everyone on the podcast. Um, let's see. Looks like Niantic is working on a new game that's similar to Pokemon Go. Let's see. Capcom and Niantic have announced a new collaboration, Monster Hunter Now, a real-world hunting action role-playing game for mobile devices which combines an accessible version of classic Monster Hunter gameplay with the augmented reality framework familiar with Niantic's smash hit Pokemon Go. It's due out in September on Android and iOS platforms, with a beta test beginning on April 25th. Registration for the beta test is open at Monster Hunter Now website. Monster Hunter Now players will be able to find monsters and materials out in the real world as they walk around with their phones, team up with friends and strangers to hunt those monsters, and craft weapons and armor. Quote, the notion of majestic monsters roaming around city streets was extremely compelling as a real world game, end quote. Niantic's chief product officer Kai Kawai, or K Kawai, I think? Kawaii, I guess. Um, said at an online briefing for press, The idea of AR Monster Hunter game was such a no-brainer that Kawaii boasted. Capcom accepted Niantic's pitch at their first meeting. The game is being developed at Niantic's Tokyo studio. It will be free to play, of course, as a mobile game, and supported by in-app purchases, of course. Niantic and Capcom touted that, or what they said was a simplified but authentic version of the Monster Hunter series combat using taps and swipes on the touchscreen. The game will be playable one-handed in portrait mode or in a landscape presentation closer to the console and PC Monster Hunter games. The max battle timer is just 75 seconds to be suitable for outdoor play. Niantic senior producer Sakai Osumi said it was the developer's goal to capture all the fun and challenge of Monster Hunter battles in this short window. The series' distinctive gameplay altering weapon classes remain, but players should expect to be switching between them more frequently. Quote, we hope users will try out different types of weapons, end quote, said Niantic's Tokyo's executive director, Tatsuo Nomura. So, looks like these are snapshots of in-game gameplay. So, it looks like it's very similar to Pokemon Go's like layout on the map. Um, Honestly, the game doesn't look too bad graphically. Um, Niantic's waypoints, local points of interest identified by the Niantic community, become resource gathering points in Monster Hunter now, while players' real-world environment is divided into different ecological zones, with different monsters and materials occurring in each. Players can use a paintball item to tag monsters encountered in the real world to hunt at home, alone, or with friends. Alternatively, their cute cat-like Palico companions can tag monsters with paintballs automatically, even if the app is closed, to gather hunts for later. Asked about competitive multiplayer and potential integration with mainline Monster Hunter games, Niantic said it couldn't comment, but Kawaii encouraged fans to please stay tuned. Um, Niantic has made several attempts to replicate the winning Pokemon Go formula with other properties with limited success. Pikmin Bloom with Nintendo has been a modest hit, but the high-profile Harry Potter Wizards Unite was shut down after less than 3 years in operation. I didn't even know that was a thing. So, um, my opinion on this is I'm glad that they're branching out. They're trying different types of game genres to see what sticks. It is a JRPG like obviously not in the traditional sense or not in the same formula as Pokemon, but I mean, it still has roaming elements to the gameplay and stuff, just like Pokemon and stuff. It has that adventurous, what's out there tone, just like Pokemon. So it's very possible that it could be more popular than Harry Potter and stuff when it comes to these mobile games. I guess we'll have to see. I personally have only played World, and I beat the base game. I haven't beaten Iceborne. So I may or may not give it a shot. We'll see. My girlfriend and I have been thinking about maybe biking around a lot during the summer for our cardio days. So maybe this could be something that we do while we're, out and about or whatever. So could be fun. I definitely might, or I think I'm actually going to give this a shot, see what happens. More UI screenshots. This looks like that's the painting mechanic or whatever. Item level, hero rank. All right, but yeah, looks pretty cool. I'm sure I have a couple of friends that are probably gonna try it because they like Monster Hunter. So I'm excited to see what they do with this. Um, let's see. Oh, here we go. Nintendo Direct every game announcement during April's Indie Showcase. Okay. So let's see here. Um, the showcase kicked off with a new look at Minako's Night Market, a fun-looking life sim with a release date that's been coming out soon for a while. It looks like that soon is 2023, as the direct revealed Minako's Night Market is coming to Switch on the 26th. We also got another look at some of the activities you'll be able to complete at the titular night market, like races, as well as some scary agents who have something to hide. It looks like that's a tweet confirming it. Um, let's see here. Up next, the direct revealed that My Time at Sandrock is getting a Switch port that will be released this summer, taking place at the same charming post-apocalyptic world as its predecessor. My Time at Portia, Sandrock delivers a more Wild West vibe as you become the newest resident builder, farmer slash fighter in a desert community. Played up. Let's see here. You may remember hearing GameSpot video producer John Luke talk up this cooperative focused roguelike cooking simulator on the After Dark podcast. This frenetic cooking game sees you and some friends frantically serve customers to the best of your ability, unlocking permanent upgrades for future restaurants when your current venture inevitably goes under. Um, Previously only available on PC, Played Up is coming to Switch in October. Let's see here. Previously only announced for PC via Steam, Rift of the Necrodancer is a rhythm game spin-off of roguelike rhythm game Crypt of the Necrodancer. The Direct revealed that the game is coming to Switch as well, launching alongside the PC version this year. We also got more detailed look at Necrodancer's gameplay, including boss fights, burger making, and yoga. Interesting. Um, Looks like Cult of the Lamb is getting some DLC to coming to Switch. So it's called Relics of the Old Faith. Gonna come out actually tomorrow, so or the 24th. So you guys should be seeing this the day of release. A huge free major content update to the Cult of the Lamb is almost here. New post-game story, deeper combat, revamped bosses and enemies, more replayability, photo mode, and other requested features. That's pretty cool. Um, Animal Well, let's see here, was a standout at Summer Game Fest 2022, and its puzzle box world looks just as spookily atmospheric now that we've gotten another look at it. We got to see more of it, more of the unsettling action adventure game during the direct, as well as an announcement that it will be coming to Switch alongside PlayStation 5, 4, and PC. The direct also revealed a release window for the game early next year. So it looks like you guys will be able to see the little snippets of gameplay slash like the trailer in this article. So if you guys want to look at it, as always, the link will be in the description, so you guys will be able to take a look at it yourselves. Um, let's see. Crime O'Clock. A new gameplay trailer for this game revealed during the Indie Direct showcased how this black and white mystery game interconnects its 40 different cases, with your actions in one having the possibility of affecting the others in a domino effect. We also have a release date, which is June 30th. Tesla Grad 2 is another indie game, and apparently it's already out. It was revealed to release on April 19th, so that was, what, Thursday? I think it was Thursday. Alongside a remaster of the original Tesla Grad during the direct. This physics-based action-adventure game features electrifying puzzles and Norse myth-inspired enemies and locations. Let's see here. Apparently, Shadows over Loathing Switchport is also out now on the eShop. A physical version of the Switchport will be out this fall. Blasphemous 2. The direct provided a more in-depth look at the gameplay for this game as well. We also have a more specific release window for the game, which is summer of this year. Lost Signal or Oxenfree 2. Ooh, I'm actually looking forward to this. So, following the new look at Blasphemous, the direct showcased more of the story and gameplay for Oxenfree 2: Lost Signals. The direct also showed a release date, which is July 12th on all platforms, and pre-orders are now available. Um, and then let's see here, some other ones that they teased are Paper Trail, which is supposed to come out August of this year. Little Kitty Big City, which is supposed to come out next year. Chance of Sonar, which is supposed to come out September of this year. Rotato is supposed to come out this year. Escape Academy Complete Edition is supposed to come out fall of this year. Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach came out the day of this article, which I think also was either the 18th or 19th. And then Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is supposed to come out in August of this year. So, you guys got a few more indie games that to look forward to. Um, I don't know basically anything about any of them except for Oxenfree. I remember playing the first game on stream. I think I actually played through the whole thing in one session. And I believe it was actually Twitch integrated because I had a couple buddies of mine. They were actually fucking with me while I was playing the game. Uh huh. Yep. Yes. All right. A little bit, or backtracking a little bit back to some unfortunate Pokemon news. So, James Carter Cathcart, a prolific voice actor who breathed life into Professor Oak, Gary Oak, and Team Rocket's James and Meowth in the Pokemon anime and more, has retired due to throat cancer. News of this retirement came from a blog post on Caring Bridge, where his wife Martha wrote on Monday that Cathcart's cancer wasn't responding to any treatments and that his medical team will be giving it a more aggressive approach. According to an earlier post in January, the 69-year-old voice actor developed a tumor on his tongue and it spread to his neck and has had been receiving chemotherapy to shrink it. On Easter Monday, April 10th, we learned that I am. No, you're okay. It doesn't need to be shut. It doesn't need to be shut. It does. They don't. She listens so well. Anyways, on Easter Monday, so April 10th, we learned that Jimmy's tumors didn't respond to induction chemotherapy as much as was anticipated, and that a more aggressive chemo approach was necessary, Martha wrote. This is leading back to the previous rejected first line of chemo drugs. Our hope now that he will be among the 80% plus who do not experience long-lasting tinnitus and hand-finger neuropathy from the medication. Cathcart is set to start a new round of treatments on May 1st, which will consist of several weeks of radiation therapy 5 days a week, with simultaneous chemotherapy on weeks 1, 4, and 7. This prompted him to retire as a voice actor for the English dub of the Pokemon anime after the conclusion of Season 25, so Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, in the US, according to his wife. He has been with the series since the first episode, so it is a timely decision as the series transitions to new characters and storylines, she wrote, alluding to Pokemon Horizons, a new series that will introduce new protagonists to take Ash's place. Which, from I've only seen one subreddit thread talking about it, and I think that the consensus is that the new main character, the female protagonist, she seems to be Ash's daughter, but I'm not for sure though. Um, in addition to the Pokemon anime, Cathcart has voiced characters in other anime and video games, such including Weevil Underwood in Yu-Gi-Oh, Sir Gallant and Kirby Right Back at Ya, Team Chaotix leader Vector and the Crocodile in Sonic X, and Shadow the Hedgehog, Butchie in One Piece, and Roger Bacon in Shadow Hearts. So that is unfortunate, but I mean, you're gonna choose a time to retire. I mean, I can't think of a more convenient time to do it. Especially since like as like a person that voice acts, I'm assuming that he probably doesn't. He probably pushed past it until the series did finally end. Um, which really big kudos for him on that. But it looks like now he's getting the break that he needs to be able to fight this shit properly, and I hope he wins. I'm sure he was responsible for a lot of laughs when we were kids, and I hope that the chemotherapy ends up working out for him and he can live out the rest of his days. But yeah, so support for James. Um, I hope he makes it through. Um, moving on to the next one. It looks like PlayStation picked up a new studio, Firewalk, apparently. Um, let's see. What are they even like? What are they even like responsible for making? Hold on. They've made they've worked on Call of Duty, Destiny, Apex Legends, and Halo. So they're an FPS focused studio. Interesting. Curious to see what they actually come out with. But okay, well, apparently they acquired PlayStation acquired Firewalk, so I guess we'll see what happens with that. They might be doing that because they don't like Activision going under Microsoft's territory. In all honesty, which I can't necessarily can't blame them, I suppose. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I hope they make some badass games. Moving on to the next one. Apparently, Sony is quietly raising prices on its games in certain regions. While inflation has been cooling down in a lot of places, Sony has quietly raised PlayStation game prices on Steam in select regions. Reset Era user Chairman Chuck spotted the price increases for PS4 and 5 on Steam databases, affecting several regions, including Argentina, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, Japan, and South Korea. The games that have been affected by inflated prices include Sackboy, Returnal, Marvel Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, Horizon Zero Dawn, Days Gone, and God of War 2018. According to PlayStation Lifestyle, who confirmed the findings, the aforementioned games experienced price jumps on Steam between April 14th and 19th. However, how much they cost now depends on the year they were released in. For example, Returnal may carry a higher price tag since it came out in 2021, while Horizon Zero Dawn may be generously cheaper given that it was released in 2017. So if you live in any of those following areas, here are the prices you will expect to see when you're looking for your favorite PlayStation games on the Steam store. So it looks like Argentina's going from 41.99 in between 41.99 and 59.99 pesos up to 84.99 and 9.99 99.99 pesos. So it's jumping like around 4k pesos roughly. Um, Canada's going from the range of 59.99 to 6.99 to 64.99 to 7.99 79.99. Chile is going from the range of 32,000 to 39,500 pesos to 35,000 to 42,000 pesos. Um, China's going from 279 or from in between 279 and 379 RMB to 345 to 414 RMB. Colombia is going from the range of like 160k and 190k pesos to 184k and 219k pesos. Um, Japan's going from the range of 4,900 to 5,900 yen to 6,490 yen and 7,590 yen. And then South Korea was the last one, which could be 45,888 and 58,800 won to 52,800 and 62,800 won. Sony hasn't officially announced the price jumps for the PlayStation games on Steam. It's unknown if the price increases on Steam will affect the prices in other digital and physical retail storefronts in their respective regions, or whether even more regions can expect to see similar price increases. Um, I guess I'm not really surprised that those specific regions has a price hike because they were talking about inflation, but also because of that, like obviously Argentina and Colombia, for example, they don't have the strongest economies, so it makes sense. Um, I just hope that they don't do continuous price hikes in these regions. Otherwise, it's gonna be kind of hard to sell shit. Yeah. So not really much to say on that one. It's unfortunate, but I'm not an economist, so so I don't really know what kind of input I can really give on this. It sucks. I feel bad for the people that live in those countries, but the price hikes don't seem the worst. But then again, though, I don't know how the job market looks in those specific like regions and stuff. So I guess we'll see if this severely impacts Sony or not. Probably not, but we'll see. Um, let's see here. Xbox is apparently working on a mystery sequel that could take a decade. Um, let's see here. So, as spotted by Axios' Stefan Totilo, the game was mentioned in court documents relating to an ongoing legal challenge in which a group of self-identified gamers are trying to block Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. Um, At one point, the document explains that AAA games can take a long time to make, using Halo Infinite as an example, though the length and cost of development is redacted. It then says, for instance, according to one Microsoft executive, redacted, a forthcoming title from the redacted franchise may take a decade to develop. It's not clear if this is a completely new game that hasn't been announced yet, or something players already know about, such as Elder Scrolls 6, which was announced at E3 2018 and is therefore seemingly at least 5 years into development. Bethesda's Todd Howard said in 2021 that it was good to think of the Elder Scrolls 6 as still being in a design phase, suggesting the Xbox exclusive is still some years away. Um, the case the document comes from involves a private antitrust action that has been brought by 10 video game players in California, New Mexico, and New Jersey. Last December, they filed a complaint in federal court in California, arguing that Microsoft's proposed $69 billion acquisition of Blizzard could substantially lessen competition or create a monopoly in violation of the Clayton Act. The case was dismissed in March after U.S. District Judge Jacqueline Scott Corley found it failed to present sufficient evidence to support their claims. However, the plaintiffs were given 20 days to refine their legal challenge and earlier this month filed an amended lawsuit containing redacted information from Microsoft, including a strategy memo and new information from the deal's chief opponent, Sony Interactive Entertainment. So this is new to me because I didn't know that like some of the people that were blocking the deal was just like a bunch of like like a group of video game players. I did not know that. Um, the I'm curious to see here. I wonder if it'll ever be released on what game is going to take a decade to make because you know, it could be Elder Scrolls, it could be the next Halo game, it could be the next Gears of War game, it could be a lot of different games. So, I mean that being I guess like this is coming from a person that's basically just being nosy because obviously knowing what game it is that could take a theorized decade to make doesn't make a difference in the courts. That's just like a cited like example. Um, I do see where they're coming from about being fearful that Microsoft is trying to create a monopoly, and I would also argue. I mean, I can definitely see the reasoning behind that because ultimately, if they could, most corporations would fight for being a monopoly. I mean, they're corporations; they're trying to make money. It is what it is. They're appreciation for their customers and um, putting out quality over quantity is literally only reinforced with the fact that if they do that too much, then they basically get ran out of business by the video game industry because no one wants to keep buying literal dog shit for free video games. That's a waste of money, and with how many people are having difficulty finding jobs, keeping jobs, or getting paid enough to even like keep a roof over their head, not a good look to keep putting out trash. So yeah, I guess I'm curious to see what this reformed lawsuit is gonna do. Personally, I don't really care whether or not Microsoft actually acquires Activision Blizzard. It doesn't affect us really. Um, well, I shouldn't say that. It could affect quality of the games, or sorry, it will affect quality of the games, but I don't know if it'll be for better or for worse. Um, so, yeah. So, development. Okay. Yeah. So, I understand the fears, but like, the only thing that I would care about really is if Microsoft does end up getting Activision acquired. I just hope that they turn around the internal policies and shit because with the amount of bullshit that's been going on with their workers and the amount of sexual harassment that goes on in that place, it's a little bit ridiculous. That's the only thing I really care about. I don't think that Microsoft will make the games any worse than they are. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. On to the next one. Shazam: Fury of the Gods review. The sequel of Family Ties still has sparks. Okay. So it looks like this game is doing, or this movie's doing well. Um, The main cast of Shazam: Fury of the Gods certainly brings a newfound edge to their returning or first appearances in this franchise. For one, there's surprisingly great chemistry between Jack Dylan Grazer's Freddie Freeman, Adam Brody as Shazam Jr., and Rachel Zegler's Anthea in the scenes that we get between the two. Grazer's hero, nerdy wits, and Zegler's curiosity and teenage relatability are able to bounce off in a way that's charismatic, providing the movie with a sweet lightheartedness. Asher Angel still has that naturalistic heart and personal grip to Billy Batson, lightly supported by Zachary Levi's portrayal of the hero form. The rest of the Billy's foster family, Eugene, Ian Chen slash Ross Butler, Darla, Faith Herman slash Megan Good, Pedro, Jovan Armin slash DJ Catrona, and Mary, Grace Caroline Curry, does play a bigger role in this packed sequel. Each foster sibling from their young to adult forms get their chance to shine and grow bits of character development over time, though these lines of storytelling don't feel resolved by the third act. Meanwhile, Helen Mirren as Hespera and Lucy Liu as Calypso provide a somewhat threatening presence with their resolve to do what they can, though their characters bear a limited amount of emotional depth hindered under the final battle. Um, for people that were interested in going to see this movie, it looks like overall it's pretty solid, which is something new for DC inspired films. So yeah, it's good. So if you guys haven't already, it might be a solid thing to take your kids to go see. Could be pretty cool. Um, okay, but yeah, so that's good. I'm glad that Shazam's actually doing pretty well. I'm glad that the movie seems to be getting good reviews and good public reception. It's good for DC to be like getting that kind of reputation versus continuously getting shit on because as funny as it is, it's starting to get sad. So, moving on to Marvel this time. Scarlett Johansson says she's done with Marvel. Well, I mean, she hasn't really done anything since her solo movie, and that came out like 2 years ago, I think. Um, let's see here. In a recent interview, Scarlett Johansson announced that she is done playing Marvel's super spy, Black Widow. While this isn't the most shocking news, Johansson's character died while saving half the universe in Avengers Endgame. It also wasn't a foregone conclusion that Johansson was definitely finished as Black Widow. She only made her debut headlining her own solo Black Widow film after her character died, which obviously the movie was a prequel, so it makes sense. Um, Johansson told her Marvel co-star Gwyneth Paltrow that she's moving on from her superhero role in an episode of the Goop podcast. Um, let's see here. Johansson said, "I'm done. The chapter is over. I kind of did all that I had to do. Also, coming back and playing a character again and again like that over a decade of time is such a unique experience." For her part, Paltrow was less certain that she had made her last Marvel appearance. "I didn't die," she noted, "so they can always ask me." Um, Johansson's Marvel tenure did not end on the best of terms. Shortly after Marvel released Black Widow simultaneously in theaters and on Disney Plus, Johansson sued the company, claiming the decision to put the film on streaming cost her millions of dollars in salary. Johansson and Disney ultimately settled their dispute in September of 2021. The only time Johansson was mentioned by Marvel after that came in November 2021 when the studio's president, Kevin Feige, alluded to her working on a top secret Marvel Studios project, which he said has nothing to do with her Black Widow character, um, Natasha Romanoff. It's still not clear what that project is or was supposed to be, or whether it's still happening. All told, Johansson appeared in 9 Marvel movies: Iron Man 2, The Avengers, Captain America Winter Soldier, Avengers Age of Ultron, Captain America Civil War, Avengers Infinity War, Captain Marvel in a cameo, Avengers Endgame, and then obviously her solo movie. Johansson officially joins fellow Avengers star Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans in Marvel retirement, which that's a lie. According to a couple of sources, Robert Downey Jr. said that he would come back for Secret Wars, which that's obviously years away, but there's still that circulating around. That only leaves Chris Hemsworth, Mark Ruffalo, and Jeremy Renner still actively appearing as their Marvel heroes from that initial team lineup. Even without Johansson, the MCU still has a Black Widow. Florence Pugh is the franchise's new MCU, playing Natasha's sister Yelena. So, let's see here. And then once again, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes out on May 5th, so about a week and a half, give or take. So, that's pretty cool. Um, let's see here. I guess I'll go over this really quick. Apparently, Sega is planning to acquire the Angry Birds developer Rovio for almost like $750 million. Spicy. Hmm. All right. Well, um, good luck with that. I see what happens. Anyways, um, Harry Potter competitive multiplayer game Quidditch Champions announced. So, according to an FAQ on the game's website, it's a fast paced competitive multiplayer game featuring the world's most iconic magical sport. It's billed as a complete standalone Quidditch experience that engages players in the sport of Quidditch and other broomstick adventures alongside friends in a competitive multiplayer setting. The game will let users create and customize their own Quidditch players. It will require an internet connection, whether playing solo or as a team online. Quidditch Champions has been in development for several years at LA-based Unbroken Studios, which is also currently contributing to the console versions of Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League. Um, the studio, which employs around 100 staff, previously developed and self-published mobile multiplayer game shooter Fantastic Plastic Squad and PC battle royale game Fractured Lands. Warner will hold limited playtests for Harry Potter Quidditch Champions from April 21st or 21st to 22nd, and players can register here, which as of right now is the 23rd, so this is over. But you could sign up. Let's see here. Like Harry Potter spin-off Hogwarts Legacy, the game is set to be published under Warner's Portkey Games label. The release date for the game has not been set yet, though. So there's that. So people that were wanting to play this, well, now they get a standalone game. So that's pretty cool. I haven't heard anything about the beta, so maybe we'll cover that next week about how people were reacting to it, see how well it was, what the improvements they need to make are, and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, so these are all the articles that I personally wanted to go over, especially since I'm the only one here. These were the only ones that were piquing my interest. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. If you did, like I said at the beginning of the episode, make sure to like, subscribe to the channel. If you're enjoying the content, comment, tell us what you like, what you don't like about the about the content and how we go about it. Um, Make sure to also follow the Discord. That should be in the link in the description. That's where we're trying to build a community, have a good time, all that good stuff. Post our own, or have people that join the Discord post articles that could be fun to talk about, and all that good stuff. Make sure to go follow the socials. That way you guys can keep up to date about stream or podcast related stuff. Um, and that's all I got for y'all tonight. So have a good one. Deuces.